Second of all, having a sword prevents you from getting stuck at a couple of places that might trip you up if you don't play this game a lot. So, yeah, might be an option to try.
You can dash through things.
Oh, nice early Cane of Samaria, too.
A backup weapon in case the sword breaks.
I guess. Nice to get that early. It's one of those things that it's not going to impact a lot of the early game or kind of the early dungeons, but at some point it's just going to be that one thing that's stopping you from making progress. So get that out of the way early. We've got a real strong casual start here.
Yeah, either that or it's going to draw somebody into like a very early dip into mire. And possibly some really low percent vitreous fights.
I would like a really early dip into just like the couple first rooms of Turtle Rock. Wow, we've got some gloves already too.
So like typically in a standard seed, like there's this big hullabaloo about finding bombs so that you can get to the items in the bag just in case a glove is there. But we're starting with the ability to break the wall, the boots, and the glove in case we weren't able to do that.
We're probably just going to find the moon pearl and the hammer in there.
Literally nothing bad can happen.
No, we cannot possibly have any problems unless any of our awesome runners tonight decide to give us an interesting show. Speaking of whom, we should probably take a second and introduce them. We've got in the green corner, Ose 101. Ose? My goodness.
I usually hear OC.
OC, I like it.
I don't know.
And then we have Trinex, our three-headed demon, actually played by one of those the fellas that are actually seen in Turtle Rock. Love that sprite in the red corner there. We have Furiyame in yellow and NY Rambler in blue.
Yeah, Trinex's sprite is a Hokuboku, commonly referred to as a Poki.
There we go. I knew there was a cute name and a real name, and I couldn't remember what either of them were. So, little blob dudes, half of which, if there were two of them on top of each other, it would be what they normally look like.
Yeah, we usually call it a Poki because of its similarity to the Mario enemy.
It is pretty similar to that, yeah. So for standard, we're seeing all of our runners going the same route, heading through Castle Hyrule. Not going to be worried about this guard too much. Have already picked up an extra heart along the way, so, should be doing all right health-wise.
Everybody going for 8 slashes.
It's easier than you might think. You really can only get hit by the ball of that big ball and chain, so if you kind of know where to place yourself, you can get a bunch of slashes, and when the game kind of probably expects you to, be real coy and jump in and jump out again.
So I was going to say the opposite. I was going to say it's way harder than it looks.
Yeah?
It's like in my process of learning NMG, like the 8 slash strat on the ball and chain guard was one of the most difficult things to stop dying to.
For some reason, I guess that isn't hard to me. Many other things in this game are. That's the reason I don't really run it NMG style.
Of course, we did find that heart container, so everybody has that little buffer than you would normally.
Nice to have that. You don't mind finding a little bit of life early on in the game. Some love, some heart, some rupees after. No, it's not going to be too long before our runners are really tired of finding those, though. Making short work of this back part of the castle with these boots. It's fun to see this done with boots. You don't see that all that often.
Yeah, it's typically relegated to like open scenes where you put off the front of escape for a while.
Yeah, and usually, you're going to wind up in there probably looking for the boots if you're me.
Trinex stuck around and killed all the robes trying to find some bombs, and he did get rewarded with an 8 bomb drop. It's not vital for him to have done that, though, but it's definitely going to help him out for Kakariko.
Good to have them for Kakariko, but not necessarily what most of our runners are probably going to be spending their time on in here.
You need 3 bombs for Kakariko, but like typically you're most likely going to be finding some on your way.
Yeah, there's a couple of spots you can probably yank a tree, see if a few will pop out of there. Okay, I did call the hammer in there, did I not?
You did. You did.
And we had powder instead of a moon pearl. I'm sorry.
Hammer and powder right next to each other. It's really cute, though. I'd say it's a pretty good chance we're going to find something on Magic Bat.
It really feels like it, but of course this would be the time when it would be like a single rupee.
Right. Well, it's just like this early in the game, the hammer actually does nothing. Like, it unlocks 0 item locations at this point, except for that Magic Bats, which makes it seem really likely to have something.
Yeah. Now we're seeing our runners. Some of them were counting their items and realized that that last chest had to have that map. At least one of them decided they're going to open that chest. All right. I didn't need to do that. That's fine.
OC is essentially like a new runner, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult to count those items.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's such a small like time save, if you could even call it that. Like, you know.
I'm just kidding. OC's like, I think he was like top 3 in the SG Life qualifiers. He's pretty good.
Is he all right? Is he okay?
He's pretty good.
Hey, got a nice little bomb drop there, in fact. I'm gonna see.
Top 1. Oh, he won the SG Life qualifiers.
Hey, okay.
I knew he was
Nice.
top 3.
I was thinking to myself, like, if he's new, he's doing real well. Like, you know, the execution's been nice so far.
I usually don't bother counting items when I play standard. I just like the time loss versus the effort required to count the items.
Yeah. So we're in Lost Woods, just 20 rupees where the mushroom would usually be. Another 20 rupees hanging out. There's a little bit of money here, but hopefully we're going to see a bit more in Kakariko. We've gotten some good items so far. We can't really complain for lack of progression.
A little surprising not to see New York Rambler picking up those 20 rupees in the mushroom spot, because he currently has 0 bombs, and the 20 rupees would have put him over the top for buying bombs.
Yeah, that wouldn't be nice. Although probably just gambling on heading straight in and being able to get something, at least some money, if not some bombs, out of Blindside here.
Oh, we can get the bomb from the Bonk Rocks. I didn't even think of that.
Huh.
There's a guaranteed bomb in those Bonk Rocks next to the fortune teller shop. He's
Again,
actually do it multiple times.
Don't normally have boots this early. All those little things that you forget.
I think there's another rock to the right of the fortune teller shop that has a 50-50 drop of bombs. But this one is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
It does cost a lot of time for him to do this, though. You can see he's just now entering Kakariko, where everybody else is finishing up Blindside out.
Yeah, no, Blindside not having a whole lot, having some money from nice 300 rupee drop, good find early on, but a shield, nobody's really too excited about that.
I like the shields. You don't like the shields?
I like shields. It's just our runners are probably not worried too much about having a shield.
There are several locations in the game where having a shield is a difference maker between taking damage and not taking damage.
All right.
At least 2. At
You're
least
right.
2 places in the entire game where it's important.
We now have both of our canes in play. Got the cane of Burna for $100 at our typical bottle vendor there. And speaking of bottles, we have a bottle in the chicken hut.
Hey, that's convenient.
Nice to get that here. We're going to be able to do a lot of checks here. I'm going to be able to do our bottle check. Going to be able to do our bat check. Get anything off the library if it's there. Like, we're going to really empty Kakariko Village out pretty well.
Oh, see, unfortunately, he ran out of bombs and had to go buy some. But he'll be set for a while now.
Yeah. Once you get that 10 bomb, especially with a sword already, very likely that you're not going to have to get bombs again or go out of your way for them.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because I remember playing in V29 when we had the capacity upgrades instead of the 3 bomb drops. And I felt like I was buying bombs like several times every Z. And now at like once, if that, ever.
Yeah, the capacity upgrades were kind of interesting. I was pretty new at the time, so I liked them, but when they went away, I wasn't terribly unhappy about it.
It removes so much variance in your resource count.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go up to Giganon's Tower with like 10 arrows and feel pretty confident that you're gonna find enough to kill Ice Armos.
Yeah, that's true. Getting our bat check here.
All 4 runners getting the bat. It's the Moon Pearl. It's confirmed, right?
I mean, it's got to be.
I've played this game before. Did you know?
I got that impression somehow. So we have Dark World access. We have a sword. We have a lamp. We have everything we could possibly want. What a nice seed. This is going to be breezy, easy, beautiful cover girl.
Is that you or me?
I don't know.
The cover girl. I hope it's me.
Yeah, no, it's totally you. Definitely not me. We've seen a little divergence now. Trinex heading into... funny saying that. I can imagine the boss lumbering around the world, heading into the swamp entrance and getting some half magic, which is nice to find early on.
Interestingly, we have Dark World access like right now. Everybody can
yeah.
go to Thieves Town or Hype Cave or however they choose.
And every single pendant is in the Dark World. Green on Trinex. And then the other corner is on the left-hand side of the screen there in Skull Woods and Misery Mire. Which means all of our light worlds are crystals. One of them is a red crystal. I don't know if we got a map check. I didn't notice one, but, I could miss it.
It's marked as Eastern, so I assume one of the trackers was paying more attention than we were.
Good job, trackers. Speaking of whom, we should probably call out our trackers for today. Just reminding myself who our awesome trackers are.
But do you want me to tell you, or?
No, I'm reminding myself.
Okay.
I'm looking. I'm going to find it out. When you have a bunch of people in the room, you don't want to just start calling out names and hoping that you get the right people. Although you might have to help me pronounce. We've got Epi, Bill.
I just say Epi.
Epi. I was going to just say Epi. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to run through the whole name. But we've got Epi and we've got Edium. Edium or Edium?
Edium?
Edium.
I always call him Edium. He has not corrected me yet.
See, I was saying Edium one time and somebody else was saying Edium, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say both. We're just going to cover all of our bases here today. So after a lot of everybody hanging out together, we've gotten some really nice route divergence here.
Yeah, Trinex actually going for Waterwalk. Likely going to do Zora as well.
Like to see that when you got that Moon Pearl. You can make some good use out of your water walking. So, worth taking a bit of a stroll.
Oh, not going to Hobo. All right. It's a little dangerous to do these flipper checks without doing Hobo because you kind of orphan Hobo.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot more difficult to route them in later.
Trinex having to swim out there, but back at it. Let's see what's on the ledge here. Meanwhile, an NY Rambler, the Rambler from New York, is digging, finding a piece of heart.
Trinex will not be punished for this sequence break. There was nothing on the Zora ledge.
That's good. We'll see if our
big
friend
rewarded.
He sometimes might, but not today.
OC is just tearing it up here in Thieves Town on 3 hearts.
Yeah, really just almost treating it like like this is a later a dungeon that they're just kind of, getting through go mode style. It feels that way.
He's playing it kind of safe though, honestly. Like safer than I would expect someone from his caliber to play.
I mean, it is a casual race. You gotta fly casual.
Yeah, I guess he recognizes that even at this super high skill level that he sits at, like mistakes can be so costly, and it's better to spend a second here, kill an extra grasshopper rather than be on one heart for the rest of the dungeon.
Exactly. Furiami taking a death warp there. Trinex took us to the hype cave and just nothing in the hype cave.
Look at his map sprite. Do you see his map sprite?
It's
the Quake
medallion.
Oh, that's cute.
I was like, why am I seeing the Quake medallion on that map? Man, the other hype cave, Mini Moldworm Cave, also having pretty much nothing today. I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised. They already have a whole pile of items that will let them get into a lot of different locations. So, to have those easy access spots have nothing, makes sense.
So to me, in my limited capacity to understand how the game works, Pod's looking pretty darn good for having something good.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like we have this early lamp, but the lamp hasn't really done anything, and the only thing it does do is get us up the mountain to 2 checks and into Pod for like 5 items.
Yeah, it would probably be, well, we've got a hook shot down there on Furiami's screen, so it's a fair bunch of checks up on the mountain.
Then that changes everything. I didn't realize we got that East Death Mountain access.
Now there's a lot going on. Everybody's spread all over the place here. I did not see where that hook shot came from. Gonna keep an eye on the chat because I'm expecting that they noticed.
I think he came from below, like Dig Game or something. Dig Game Stuffy.
Skull Woods.
Oh, Skull Woods. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did that dive into Skull Woods, and I did notice that they were there, and then I got into, I think, some water watching.
See, OC actually opted out of the Skull Woods play. He went straight south into Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit tough. It's tough to decide to go back there just because it is a pendant, of course. Nobody's going to want to walk into a pendant dungeon, but it's almost like Overworld. I kind of treat it as such.
Well, we have the flippers now out of the brewery for OC. This means that all those flipper checks that Trinex and Rambler did were in logic after all.
Yeah, and so's the hobo.
But did Rambler do the hobo?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. Who does that? Who does the Zora checks but not hobo? Crazy.
Somebody who just wants to annoy you.
Hobo is slow. Like, don't get me wrong. It is very slow to go to hobo.
Yeah, it's an easy
you have
location
the water walk.
You got the water walk. You can just walk on up there. It's no problem. Seeing Trinex doing that Skull Woods play now, going to be rewarded with some boing.
Yeah, checking the front of Skull Woods before Village of Outcasts is pretty standard. A little surprising to me that OC didn't do it.
Yeah, especially with the pendant, it's like get those checks out. You might never have to go back. Very nice blind for Furiami. Furiami. Gotta get the vowels in the right order.
I always just say Farame.
Farame.
Nobody ever corrects me.
Furiami. I think we're at a very tolerant group. Nobody corrects people if they pronounce their names wrong.
I know, nobody ever says my name right.
It's Kawa, right?
I've just come to accept it.
I'm trying to think of how you could pronounce it differently. Kui?
Alright, Sinek lets us know it is Fur-I-Me.
Fry-me?
Fry-me.
Sounds like saying something in an Australian accent. Fry me.
Also going after that mini Moldorm cave 20 minutes in.
Yeah, 20-minute in mini Moldorm Cave is kind of interesting. Not paying off because it is just as hype as the Hype Cave. I'm imagining there's going to be more on Death Mountain, but usually that's where we find our Moon Pearl, it seems. So I'm not sure what could be up there today.
He may opt to go up the mountain without the hook shot. Because those first two checks, even without the hook shot, are still in logic. And
Yeah,
everything else kind of looks pretty unappealing.
You can tell yourself you're just activating that warp point.
We are getting that hobo check now. Did he have something good?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Yep, he had that glove all the time. It was passed down to him from his father and his father's father. And even now that he's living under the bridge, he holds on to the glove.
This is why you don't skip hobo.
It's true. So with that glove, actually that's going to work out fairly well just because not having that hook shot going to be a little bit less likely to head up Death Mountain. Maybe might get the hook shot and be able to do even more checks over there at the same time.
Yeah, from OC's point of view, like, the game is pretty gross right now, right?
Yes.
I could go to Pod, but I don't have the bow. I could go to Skull Woods, but I don't have the fire rod.
You can do the front of all the dungeons.
Yeah, or the Smith sequence, but, you know, no mirror, no flute.
Yeah, can't get into Ice Palace, thank goodness.
We'll probably see, like, Bonk Rocks and then maybe go up the mountain because that's, like, the least risky play.
Yeah, after getting disappointed at our big fish friend here, that might be the play. The old man in the mountain just having a piece of heart today. Nice spin speed there from Framey.
Yeah, a little unfortunate to be up the mountain with this hook shot, but having skipped the mitts.
Mm-hmm.
And like, when do you go back to Hobo, right?
That's the question. When would you decide to go back there? That's when you start realizing that you're missing one thing. There's literally something bottlenecking you, and you just had that horrible feeling that it's somewhere that you probably could have checked at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like, at this point, like, the best time to go back to Hobo would be when you're ready to do, like, pyramid, pod, catfish checks, and, like, swim over to Hobo first. But, like, you need the mirror to do that.
We have not found our mirror yet. Also, the thing that's going to make pod a little bit more bearable as well. Assuming we find it. Guess we're going to. We do have a crystal that is going to require it.
All right, OC is making the play that I had predicted. Unfortunately, still no hook shot, so this is going to be a big empty spot.
Yeah, not getting a lot of value. So we're seeing two totally different trips up Death Mountain. The one that, if it had the hook shot, could get across and do so much. And the one that, if it had the gloves, could open it up and see so much. But, like, star-crossed lovers.
It's from Cyrano de Bergerac, right?
Sure.
Pretty sure.
Definitely.
Hamlet or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to access Takedown Blind. Had the script for a while, but lost it there at the end. But plenty of hearts to force your way through it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, worse coming to worse, if you take a real beating for some unknown reason, they even have a Cane of Burna and half magic. It's really no big deal to get through blind. Got a clue there in our Tower of Hera that the Poe spot, the kind of typically orphaned location, is just some money. Ooh, got a good thing in Spike Cave, though.
Yeah, OC finds the flute in Spike Cave. This is both good and bad, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Because on one hand, flute, awesome, yay! But on the other, that's just more checks that he can do without going to get that hookshot out of Skull Woods.
More and more things, just making that trail go cold.
Best case scenario, like the flute leads to the fire rod and gives it like a really good reason to come back.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
I don't think the flute's gonna evade most of our runners for very long, though.
No, I don't
think so. The
think
other ones
so.
having the hookshot, it means they're definitely gonna be going up the mountain. And checking Spike Cave is typically what you do at the end of that round.
Yeah, half magic, Cane of Burna. That's gonna feel like a pretty good check to do. Oh, seeing a desert kind of area check here, which is nice. Haven't seen any of that yet. Hey, a quake.
Quake medallion on Desert Ledge. Unfortunately, we can't reach it quite yet.
No, we are too short. We cannot climb up this 3.5-foot high cliff.
And Quake opens Misery Mire.
Of course it does.
Okay, that's good though for OC because he can't go into Pendant Mire.
It is nice to have that blocked off, though knowing exactly where it is, if we find the mirror really shortly here, it's going to make you kind of start going, uh-oh.
Mire Shed was not helpful. That is the extent of what the flute can do for you.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Mini Moldorm Cave has some cash as well. Oh, was that a fire rod? It's a little hard to tell.
Yeah, it's we have like the 240p stream. It looked like the ice rod to me, but I've been wrong about it before. Trackers marked fire rod, so I trust them.
I take it. I'm going to take that fire rod and hope that it points in the right direction. So all of our runners are going to get that at some point. It's going to, that'll get us there, right? Uh-huh. But we need to have the hook shot to get it, so...
The mirror would also give access to it, and which hopefully OC's going to find soon. It looks like he's going to go into Eastern.
Yeah, hopefully. So that was Ether that we saw in the bottom part of Paradox Cave.
Fun. Eastern was not the play for OC. Gonna go check out the dam.
So far we're 28 minutes in. Some of our runners don't have a crystal. Only one or two. Furamy is doing pretty well with 2 crystals so far.
Yeah, and then on the item front, OC has the mitts, and nobody else has them, but everybody else has the hookshot, and he does not.
Yep, nobody else respects the hobo.
It's so surprising to me that everybody skipped hobo when doing the water walk. Because I feel like the fake flipper from the hobo spot is pretty well known, especially among like these Caliport runners.
Mm-hmm.
So they specifically did it because it's slow. Or specifically didn't do it because they felt it was too slow.
Yep, decided to consolidate all of their checks to the Zora area and orphaned exactly the one place that had any value.
I guess my thinking is, like, if we're going to sequence break the flippers, let's sequence break the flippers, right?
Yes, break them wide open. And even if not, like, I don't know, once you get those flippers, that's when you start thinking, uh-oh, what was the one flipper thing I didn't check? I didn't get any value out of my sequence break. What does that mean?
I see opting for the Palace of Darkness play.
I am interested to see if we're locked out of Palace of Darkness here. We are not. There's a solid chance there's going to be mirror in here, right? That seems to be the place the mirror likes to hide these days.
It's probably the bow.
That would be kind of great.
For OC, for everybody else.
Yeah, no. Horrible for everybody else.
OC was trying to be swag, hammer dashing that pot, and then decided they wanted the bomb anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you just see, I called
Oh,
it
look,
here.
the mirror. Okay, so this is actually super fantastic for OC because he's now going to be able to get that fire rod out of Tarapera, which will draw him back to Skullwoods eventually. Maybe not right away because it is pendant.
Indeed, going to be able to do all of the checks on Death Mountain, and with the ease of going back and forth from the Dark World to the Light World, so easy routing options there. Now, does OC have a potion? Are we going to see a glitch? We are. The Bows and Ice Palace!
What a fantastic hand. Hey, guys, we're in no mode. We know where everything is.
We sure do.
Oh, Frame's going up to Hobo. Oh my gosh.
Oh. OC thought about it. I think OC's skipping that glitch, just heading back. Yeah, we're gonna see the back of Dark Palace now.
So it's a little unfortunate, OC's route through this, because even though he's the reason we know where everything is now, I think Farame has the best chance at taking this because he's gonna be drawn into Ice Palace eventually, right? It's a crystal. You can full clear it with that fire rod, where he'll find the bow, which takes him over to a pod, a crystal he can full clear, where he finds the mirror, and oh look, Goma.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty clear progression. Meanwhile, OC finding a mushroom. Time for fetch quests. I really like watching Trinex holding that crystal up after defeating Moldorm. You don't have arms, buddy. How are you doing this?
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have any arms. How does he do that?
It's like Homestar Runner here with this sword.
That reference was completely lost on me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I assume it's some character from something that doesn't have arms.
It's from the ancient internet of 2003. Ooh, Framey, really good bomb strats there to get that bottle.
It was alright.
No, fine. Listen, I'm easily impressed, alright? Uh-oh. Okay, well, we do want to come over here.
He's going Meyer. Oh no.
Is it going to be the deep dive?
I mean, he'll do desert. He'll do desert first.
Yeah, gotta do
nothing
desert
there.
first.
And then, you walk out of desert and it's like, Meyer's looking pretty good.
Framey just got a good hint in Ice Palace there about not wasting their time on left side swamp. Hopefully wouldn't be in a position to be wanting to do that anyway by the time they get there, but, it's nice to know.
I mean, maybe he won't do Meyer. Because he still has, Tower Para that he can full clear. Which is, what he needs to do. I guess the flute was completely unnecessary this round, huh? Oh, no, that's our way into desert.
Yeah, so far, unless we happen to find a book somewhere else that makes sense in logic, then yeah.
Okay, this is good for OC then, because Farame is going to find everything else, but unless the book is just happening to be in Ice Palace or Pod, will be missing out on that flute. And how long does it take you to go to Spike Cave when you can get to everything?
Yeah, that's one of the curses of having almost everything you need. As we delve deeper into Ice Palace, we get to my favorite room in the game. This is my favorite room in the game.
I mean, it's a pretty slick room. I can respect that.
So simple and satisfying. And there's our bow.
So right now, guys, we are on the lookout for who goes to Spike Cave first, other than OC. When does OC go get the fire rod out of Tower of Hera? And where the heck is the book?
So Turtle Rock is Quake as well. We know where Quake is. None of those are dungeons we want to go in. I really hope that there's nothing that draws our runners in there thinking that there's a big wild goose chase.
I don't think Turtle Rock's too much of a threat for anybody except for OC.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll see people go in there like on their way to Spike Cave, but it's a pretty big commitment to go into Pendant Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you have to have already done the play into Dark Palace to get that mirror, to go and get it off the ledge by the Desert Palace. So, yeah, you know.
Trinex has made his way into Spike Cave where he does find his flute.
It's a piece of the puzzle.
Does he not have the flippers? Surely he does, right?
We'll be able to tell, maybe, shortly.
Oh my god, menu. Trinex, please.
But why would you get off that boomerang? It's the best.
He has to menu to the flute here. He has no choice if he wants to activate it.
Okay, we're gonna see it. Meanwhile, we're gonna see OC checking the
He's not
checkerboard
activating
cave.
Oh, he changed his mind. Okay, here we go.
Almost forgot.
He does have the flippers. Sorry.
Okay, phew. Book is locked by the mirror. So, good to know. Mirror and flute required to get into Desert Palace.
Oh, right. Yeah, the book's locked by the flute.
Yeah.
Okay, so
flute
yeah,
and mirror.
Spike Cave is absolutely required.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with that flute pickup from Trinex, I'd say he has our lead right now. He has the most clear path through the game.
Mm-hmm.
Although he's currently behind in crystals.
Getting caught up. It's not going to be too long. Meanwhile, Rambler is fighting a moth.
Yeah, a little bit of an odd call to go finish off Skullwoods. It is a pendant, but I think there's one more item here. Just some bombs.
Yeah, a lot of work for some bombs.
People really hate Ice Palace. Is the thing. I don't understand it. I think Ice Palace is awesome. I tend to do it way earlier than I see most people doing it.
Especially if you have the hook shot and the boots and half magic and, you know, okay, we only have a fighter sword. That's something to draw attention to because we're gonna need some better swords. Otherwise, we literally can't kill Ganon. We need at least one.
Yeah, it's really easy to forget about the swords as a requirement for beating the game because, like, you typically just find them on the way. But it is possible that, like, the other three swords are all completely out of the way and no one's going to find them except for OC, who is seemingly forced to go to all these terrible locations.
Yeah.
Luckily, OC did not dip into Mire. He is in Tower of Hera now.
Yes, where they're going to get that fire rod, which is hopefully going to send them back on the right course.
Trinex, though, is in Ice Palace. This is the right play for him. He's going to be able to find his bow here, which leads to his mirror. and that's his go mode, except for a sword.
Yep, just need that sword. Which I bet you we're going to find. I think we're going to find it in Swamp Palace. Assuming anybody checks any chests in there.
Feremi found a sword, I assume, here in Eastern Palace, which is definitely on the way.
That is good. So once they have Master Sword, they're not going to be going out of their way. Though if there's something, a chance to check a chest that's literally going to lose you maybe 1 second. Boy, sure would be nice to go from Master to Tempered. Red boomerang there in Eastern Palace, so we know where both of the boomerangs are. That's important.
So as it stands right now, this race is mostly between Trinex and Feremi.
Mostly our
that
friends.
Person in the bottom right with the yellow. So it really comes like Feremi has the advantage in dungeon clears, like already up a crystal and in their 4th, while Trinex is still working on number 3.
Mm-hmm.
But the flute is the big question mark. So if Feremi makes their way into Spike Cave sooner rather than later, like suddenly they're in the lead. But I can't see that happening. It's so awkward to get to Spike Cave at this point in the game.
Yeah, it really is. It's the most awkward one because you're kind of physically orphaned in there. Hey, a shovel, that seems appropriate.
Ramble, of course, is being punished for skipping out on Hobo earlier and not coming back to it sooner. Going through Pod now, finding the mirror, which is nice, but you gotta have those mitts.
Yeah, need some gold mitts. Deciding to take that mirror and use its properties to get to the front of the dungeon and get the heck out of there. You know what? Why not?
Now, OC may be able to sneak up on everybody if he makes the right plays following Caravera.
Yeah, if we see pretty much... If they go right into our Skull Woods again and just find that hook shot, that's...
Yeah, I do believe he'll make his way to Skullwoods eventually. It's just, I don't think that's what he's going to do right away. We'll probably see Ice Palace first, because he does know that the bow is there, and then following that, Eastern and Pod full clears.
Yeah, at that point it's going to be like, all right, where's the one thing that I need? What tools do I have? What seems like a good idea? Problem is, you might wind up getting lured into doing some smith chain kind of checks.
Yeah, it really comes down to what he does after the bow dungeons, right? Because he's obviously going to do Ice, Eastern, Pod. Like that's set in stone. That will never change.
For sure.
But following that, does he go front of Skull Woods and then Smith sequence down? Does he make the big gamble to go into Swamp looking for a vanilla hookshot? Does he go into Mire, thinking he might be in there locked behind the boots? I'd go Mire, honestly. Like, if I was in that particular position, I would pick Mire.
It would be a gamble, but it would feel like a good, educated guess, though, because you've got all the right tools, and, just something about that, seeing the literally about 10 feet away in the other dimension, the thing you need to get into the place just makes you go, all right, what are you trying to tell me, Seed? Trinex getting ready for a fight with Cold Stare using the fighter sword and a whole pile of magic. Luckily, we found a bunch of green goo in this seed.
Yeah, we're still in Greenbelt right now, so a very dangerous position right now.
Yeah.
Currently one hit from death from these puffs.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, raining death from above. But, of course, Trinex pulls it off.
Fire rod's pretty good. Pretty good.
It's really good for melting things, surprisingly.
Was that a left side swamp hit in Ice Palace? Oh, poor New York Rambler. It's 2 items on the left side, but they're both nothing. I mean, he's probably going to be full clearing swamp here.
Yeah, we got a hint about the left side of swamp, and they are junk and more junk, and that's a that's a shame to not have that hint. Oh, maybe. Heading straight back. Maybe they did grab that hint. I think it was an Ice Palace, though, so maybe not.
Rambling, he couldn't have that hint. I mean, it's pretty standard routing through swamp to put off the left side.
Mm-hmm. But if you're Rambler, you're probably thinking, once you get to the end of this and you haven't found a couple of items, you're thinking, that's got to be my gloves.
Yeah, especially when you're at least 2 items from go mode. Feels really awkward to leave 2 items behind on left side swamp.
Yeah. I would say clearing out the area there. Not having a hook shot yet has to do some fancy maneuvers to get through this room.
One of the simpler bomb jumps in the game, but it is very intimidating to watch.
And all those little fellas floating around trying to electrocute you, giving birth to more things to electrocute you, you know. We're seeing New York Rambler here, NY Rambler with the the yanking the puffballs off of Argus and doing spins to try to murder them strats.
Yeah, Argus is actually immune to fighter sword level of damage, so he has to do spins to do any damage at all, and it takes 2 spins to kill a puff.
Ugh. I remember the first time I ever wound up here with a fighter sword, and I thought that I just literally couldn't progress. There's 1 puffball left. You almost wonder why they wouldn't go ahead and do the menu boss version, which is going back and forth between the hookshot and the hammer, but, you know, it is awfully slow.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact timing, but I know that doing double pulls with the fighter sword is faster than the hammer.
We have our lovely bug net on Argus, too.
But I don't know how it compares to doing single pulls like he was doing.
Yeah.
Trinix does find his Master Sword here in Eastern Palace. 1 pod dip away from go mode.
I think we're going to be seeing that very soon.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Faraime going through the final leg here of Palace of Darkness towards their 5th crystal.
Yeah, making a pretty good time here.
Yeah, it's just still, like, when do you go to Spike Cave?
Yeah, when do you go to Spike Cave?
I mean, as it stands, like, I believe that Faraime still has, like, Dark Death Mountain available, which, you know, is a pretty dense item location for check-in and everybody. And doing Spike Cave after that is pretty standard.
Yeah, if nothing else, that should lure them kind of in that direction, and definitely are going to want to do that before, you know, getting too far into Turtle Rock. And obviously, sorry, can't get into Turtle Rock. That's right, because it's Quake to get in, right?
Yeah, but Faraime's going to go to Desert next for sure. Desert and Swamp.
Yeah,
where they will find the Quake Medallion before finally making that dive back up the mountain.
Yeah, but gotta get that flute out of Spike Cave first.
I'm a little worried that this means that they're gonna full clear Swamp as well, looking for access to Desert.
Yeah. Speaking of full clearing Swamp,
oh right,
back
no,
in there.
The Quake Medallion's locked behind the flute. I'm
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Turtle Rock's not an issue. All right. So it's just
No.
the full clear swamp. That's
Yeah,
the
they
issue.
can't get into Turtle Rock. Thank goodness. There's nothing worse than being able to get into Turtle Rock, because then you start going, well, I must need to go in.
So this is a better position than I was thinking.
Yeah.
So Faraime will full clear swamp most likely, and then probably go up the mountain like right after, just because it's the most dense thing you can do, which results in doing Spike Cave, where we get Go Mode Flute.
Yeah, it's really convenient that that Turtle Rock has locked us out, because that's going to mean they're definitely going to go to Spike Cave, definitely going to get on the right track.
Trinex finishes off Armos and is headed towards Pod and Go Mode.
Meanwhile, Rambler headed toward Disappointment. Yep, 2 pieces of garbage in the back of Swamp.
Oh, on the plus side, Faraime, I believe, did find that left side swamp hint.
Yeah,
So
they went through Ice Palace,
better.
definitely.
This is a race.
It sure is.
It's actually, I'm having a really hard time judging who's gonna come out ahead here.
Yeah, a lot of different little factors. But,
remember where the big key in Pod was?
It's way in the back of the dark maze, like the last chest you can check before you run out of chests, basically. So that's kind of annoying.
That's a little unfortunate for Trinex, because he's going to find his Go Mode right away, but then have to continue full clearing looking for the big key.
But when you find it, you can use your mirror to get the heck out and just take a run straight from the beginning.
I think Trinex still has the edge, though. Especially if Faraime gets, like, distracted by doing, like, the Smith checks or something like that.
Yeah, that is possible, I guess. I'm looking at Faraime's items. Are they in full Go Mode now?
No, Faraime has to find the flute.
That's right. I was looking at it going, there's something missing here. I'm missing one piece.
So following the swamp dip, all Faraime will have available is like Dark Death Mountain Spike Cave, 1 item in Skull Woods, and the Smith sequence. So from that position, like, the mountain looks the best. It's the most dense place to go. But sometimes, especially if like you're feeling behind, people start making weirder plays, like lower percentage plays, hoping to make something happen. You know.
That's true. Now, do you feel like you're behind at this point if you're Faraime, though?
I don't think so.
I feel like you're doing pretty well.
Feeling pretty good.
Because,
maybe feeling a little like unfortunate about how you put off the mitts for longer than you really needed to.
Yeah, possibly that might kind of set off that fear, the sensor in the back of the brain there.
And Rambler is going up to Catfish, but unfortunately did not pair Hobo with this.
Gonna be doing some checks over here first. It looks like gonna see King's Tomb. There was a hint about there being nothing much above the pose, but I'm not sure if Rambler got that hint. OC cleaning up here. Has a lot of crystals. And gonna be getting another one real shortly. And another sword.
Yeah, Eastern Palace is his last, this is definitely what I need to be doing play. And then following this, he has, like, decision time.
Yeah, they're in a good position because they can do the fast Swamp Palace, which we're not seeing from anybody else. Once they've got that hook shot, that is.
Yeah, that's
the one item.
OC might think that it's like hookshot in swamp. Although with the left side swamp hit that we got earlier, maybe that doesn't look as good as it did before.
Yeah, probably not to open it up and go all the way in. You'd be doing the Smith chain first, and really, hopefully, fingers crossed, just pop in the Skull Woods just for fun.
The Skullwoods does not look terrible for OC. Like, he hasn't been in the front at all, so from his point of view, like, it's 2 items. He can pair it with the Greybird Ledge check if he didn't get that, and the Booch checks if he hasn't done those, although I think he has. Although OC doesn't have silvers, so has he not been to Death Mountain? Did he nope out after getting the fire on?
That is possible.
If so, that's unfortunate because the mountain looks way better than Skullwoods.
Yeah, that's true. Oh.
Looks like Farimi found something to do
Yeah.
other than going to get the flute.
That is a reasonable check, I think. You know, you got both of those crystals.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Why not? And probably has not been up to pyramid yet, so it's another check here as well. It's just a full heart from what I remember, but
Yeah, we'll probably be heading to Catfish following this as well.
some real junk in the pyramid today.
So Rambler did finally make his way to Hobo. He has those mitts, but he has some catching up to do here.
Yeah,
Still
I've got a
needing
lot of
that bow out of Ice Palace and the flute out of Spike Cave.
Yep, should be getting that flute before too long.
Yeah, for sure. Like typically, like he'd finish this run up with Spike Cave.
Yeah, I try to put that one off to last when you're up on Death Mountain. The last resort check if you haven't found anything else good to kind of send you in another direction.
And then once he does pick up the flute, like that'll lead him over to probably Desert first, but then Ice Palace is looking a lot better than going into Eastern Pot again.
That's for sure. We're going to see more traditional fight with Armos here from OC.
A little bit of top right. Oh, by the way, Trinex is in go mode. Kind of glossed over that.
Oh, hey, that's a thing. Under an hour go mode.
Nice fetch quest from Armos Knights. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Had a few little fetch quests, all of them red herrings.
Rambler thinking about going into Turtle Rock, but then realizes, oh, I can't. That's good.
Yeah, for Amy now losing a little bit of time doing some of the checks that some other folks did a little bit earlier on, like these Zora checks.
Now, following Desert, Trinex still does have to go back to Swamp, but it's going to be a go mode Swamp, which is pretty quick.
Yeah, that go mode swamp feels pretty good.
So it really comes down to which happens first. Trinex finishing Swamp or Farimi finding the flute.
Yeah, that is a good question. Oh, going up to the mountain cave. So hopefully gonna be checking stuff out around here. Meanwhile, Rambler about to activate their flute.
So OC's in a pretty gross position where he actually can enter Turtle Rock looking for that hook shot.
Yeah, that is not a good position to be in when you're hunting for one last thing. Has the silvers now, though. Trinex one cycling the Landmolus.
Very clean fight.
Getting a compass for their trouble. For Amy, getting closer, ever closer.
Trinex headed to his final crystal dungeon, while Faraime is a stone's throw away from go mode.
It is getting really close. I am really looking forward to seeing what this looks like once they're both heading into GT. Pain getting through those Lionels up here when you only have a Master Sword. They really do not notice that damage at all.
This is going to be relatively close. I think with the flute activation, like Trinex still comes out ahead here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Meanwhile, look where Osie's going.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense from his position. Like, this is a lot of items in Pendant Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and it feels like it's got a lot of value a lot of the time, and it's very possible there's going to be a sword in there, so, you know, they might come out at least with that consolation prize. Or maybe some armor. Nobody's found anything yet. Oh, no, we've found some stuff.
But that flute in Spike Cave is go mode for Faraime.
Go mode, just over 1 hour.
So, like, the difference right now is the time it takes Trinex to finish up Skullwoods and the time it takes Faraime to finish up Desert. So I think it'll be close, but Trinex, I believe, has the lead. I don't have all these dungeon clear times written down anywhere.
No, I guess you probably can guess it fairly close if you look at like a go mode version, but I guess it really can vary quite wildly in Randomizer depending on what equipment everybody has. Definitely a little easier to get through Argus with the Master Sword as opposed to Fighter Sword.
Faraime sees the Quake Medallion and says, "Nope, don't need that."
No. I refuse to even be able to get into Turtle Rock or Misery Mire.
Oh, OC, what'd you do? OC, no!
He went the wrong way. He has the one thing he's looking for is the thing that he would have needed to go that route. There we go. Raymond getting the big key in Desert Palace, piecing right out. You're gonna go straight to the back.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a little bit of a long trip to Lammo.
Yeah, it just feels like you're just kind of being stopped. Like, hey, why don't you stop in this room and find a key under a pot? Like, all right, really? Funny to be doing a dungeon like that as your last dungeon, essentially. Like, okay, I think I can handle this. Trinex trying to get the shot in. It is a tough hitbox. Ah, there we go.
So Trinex does have a lead. This is his 7th crystal. But it's not so much of a lead that like Gainus Tower big key routing could not change this completely.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be pretty close, especially because Faraime has Silvers, has Fire Rod, going to be able to make pretty short work with Landmolus here.
All right, 7 crystals, blah, blah, blah. Item location, big key. You do the thing.
All right, we are starting our trek up to Death Mountain to go to Ganon's Tower, there are 22 locations. 22? 23. It's 22, right?
22.
22 locations where we could have the big key. And we're going to basically follow the first person to get in, which is going to be Trinex, and whatever order they choose. So pick a number between 1 and 22, and you will win a fabulous asterisk prize. For some definition of fabulous.
Oh, Faraime getting dead rocked.
That's probably the worst spot too. For some reason, you feel like you should just be able to walk around it.
So this seed ended up being pretty jet. All you had to do was dip front of Skullwoods and go to Hobo.
Yep.
And then everything else just kind of lines up for you.
It does. And if you don't do those things, you'll find yourself going to Mimic Cave.
Poor OC.
So I was trying to keep an eye on when Trinex was heading out of... I guess they took different routes to get up to Death Mountain, too, which is going to make timing a little bit difficult to track. So we'll see when Trinex goes into Ganon's Tower here. We're going to, when they walk in the door, we're going to stop our guessing game, and we'll see what the time is. We can compare it with Faraime for a bit of a kind of a one-on-one comparison here.
So we've kind of been putting a pin in him. Because he's been behind a little bit. But Rambler apparently feels pretty behind as well. So instead of going to Ice Palace, the Crystal Dungeon and Full Clear, is saying Turtle Rock must be the answer. This is unfortunate.
It can feel like that sometimes. All right. So, Trinex is going full left here. Is he not? I did not see the first checks. If not,
nobody goes full left.
Are you sure?
Yes. Like literally nobody goes full left. This is probably a magician play, either pink or dark magician.
All right. So if that's the case, no, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 checks for Trinex, who is the one we're following for our guessing game.
So this is literally going to come down to the routing through Ganon's Tower. They're taking completely opposite routes here.
Indeed. So 7 checks for Trinex. Not found the big key yet. All right. Now it's going to be interesting as we compare the dueling routes. 8. Ooh, another sword. That's a good find. 9. Nothing. 10. 300 rupees. 11. Bombos.
The big key was in the double fire bar room.
Uh-oh.
Thankfully, Trinex is doing Pink Magician, not Dark Magician, so that'll be his next stop. But he has a sword, where Faraime does not. So while Faraime has the lead up to Aga 2, that could change pretty quickly. Tempered Sword's pretty good.
Yeah, this is really interesting. So we're on a number 11. So sorry, our guessing game still following Trinex. Even though I've never seen this where the guessing game follows somebody who then isn't the first person to get the big key. Number 12. Do we have any picks of 12? I'm just checking through. MDMD picked 12. Congratulations.
GG.
You won a lifetime supply of watching Link to the Past Randomizer as long as it continues to be run on the Speed Gaming Network.
Is that likely to change?
I don't know. At this point, it's been going pretty strong for at least a few years. I'd have to take a big shakeup for it to change. This game is just so darn fun.
I like it. You know,
I love
I
the.
played every now and then.
I really do love the. I don't know. For some reason, this game feels really good to randomize. Like, there's lots of randomized games out there, and they're awesome for different reasons. But this one is just so classic.
Oh, yeah, it's perfect for randomizer.
Yeah, all the items that kind of, you have to need different little kits of items to get into all the different dungeons. It's just great.
Yeah, and even more than that, like all the minor glitches that have always been so welcomed by the Link to the Past community. For like, we don't have a glitchless category,
Yeah.
Like, and all these glitches make for sequence breaking, which makes randomizing the game so much more interesting because you've got to keep track of the logic.
Yeah, if you don't, you can kind of find yourself almost all the way through the game and then realizing there's just some silly thing you're missing. But we had Trinex getting into the gauntlet pretty much at the same time that Feremi was leaving the gauntlet. Trinex took a pit stop there to grab some supplies because they were pretty low on health. So, you definitely want to play it a little bit safe when you're heading
Every
up.
second counts.
It does, but also every second counts if you die and have to do the whole thing over again.
Go big or go home, right?
Yeah. Speaking of, OC fighting him off.
Yeah, he's gambling that this item he's been putting off the whole game has got to be like in the back, right? Unfortunately.
For shame. Oh well. Oh, Framey ran out of magic there.
Twice.
Luckily, has a bottle full of goo. Thank goodness for those green goos this seed. Framey checking for a sword. Oh, finds a sword!
That'll be
That was a good
that'll be
find.
the nail in the coffin there for Trinex, unless Feremi does something really unfortunate, like fall
Take
to
a
Ganon.
fall to Ganon. That's the one thing that could really throw it off. Wow, that was a close race right up until then. Two swords in Ganon's tower. Not one down in the basement where you wouldn't find it unless you went the wrong way. But the other one, just one of those checks you just kind of decide to do. Oh, hey. Our last chest has a cape.
That's nice.
I mean, with half magic, you can basically just, Ganon's free now. So for Amy, going into Aga 2, Trinex fighting with Moldorm. Getting it through quickly here. Still pretty close. How good is Framey at geography? No, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with the words.
Geometry.
Yeah, that's it. Geography. Wasn't good at math.
New York Rambler does finish up his unfortunate Turtle Rock dive, not finding progression.
Yeah, that's gotta feel bad.
Did OC not finish Skullwoods?
OC went to the back of Skullwoods.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I hope that they found that and we just don't have it on the tracker. Fingers crossed.
I mean, it'd be his go mode. He wouldn't have checked K45.
Yeah?
Oh, no.
Did they forget that they didn't check the front? Framey just slicing through this pig tonight. Not even caring about the fire bats, just wailing.
Yeah, very nice 1-in-1 from Framey.
Must feel really good after being practically had that fighter sword, which was free, and then the whole seed was just kind of like, all right, can I get anything else? Feels pretty good to have a tempered sword. We did find the arrows in Death Mountain. Thank you. Going for A multiple hit, just got one. Did not get the torch glitch, should be fine. Got a nice double there, should be able to finish it up.
That'll do it. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Wow. What a nice showing from Amy there. Really pulled it through in the end.
I didn't get your reference earlier, but you got mine. Now I feel bad.
I don't know. Everybody gets Babe, right? That's what it was, right? The pig, Babe.
Ram you.
Amy finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 17 seconds, which is first place overall.
GG.
Very nicely done. Trinex's going to be finishing it up here pretty shortly. That pokey went a long way. Thank you for your service. Takes a lot of guts to turn coat and leave Turtle Rock and never go back. We have a couple other finishers. Zelga Disson finished in second place with 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 35 seconds, just a little bit behind for Amy.
Smite.
Trinex in third place. Official time 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 3 seconds. Hopefully we'll be able to get somebody in here for an interview.
Trinex is in the waiting channel, but I'm not going to pull him up.
No? Why?
I don't know. I'm busy.
Busy commentating a race that they just finished. So we have our right side of the screen, which is all finished up, just showing us our montage of everything going back to peacefulness in Hyrule here. Meanwhile, on the left side of the screen, OC still on the hunt. Needs to find the best item, the item that goes boing.
Alright, I'm concerned that he hasn't come up here by himself. Maybe I should drag him up.
Go for it.
Hi, Trinex.
Hello, 1 second. Let me turn stuff down.
No
How are you?
worries. GG, that was a fun seed to watch.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I have to say I am a really huge fan of boot starts. Well, that's one of the second one, the second one I've ever done, but I think I'm pretty much on board with that. I see in the chat, good game to Furamine. I'll butcher your name every single time.
Furaime is what we've chosen to say.
Yeah, we've settled on that.
So
Alright, Furaime, good game to you.
It ended up being a pretty jet seed. You actually lost first place overall due to Gainus Tower big key routing.
That's not too big of a deal though.
You were first into GT, but Furaime's route got to the big key a bit quicker.
This was the first time we started the guessing game, and we always used the first person to go into Ganon's tower, and the second person to go into Ganon's tower found the key before you did.
So was it 20 seconds you said on entry?
Something like that. It was pretty close.
Yeah, it was really close. It was fun watching you guys heading up Ganon's tower. I thought it was going to be real close. We both did because you had found a sword in the side of Ganon's tower that did not have the big key. Found that tempered sword, and I thought, wow, that's really going to close it up. But because they had not found that tempered sword, Furaime kept checking chests on the way up, and happened to find one in the little room with the little mini Helmosaurs.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So they evened it up, and then at that point they were already a little bit ahead, so that what you would have been able to gain back, they were able to steal.
Yeah. Even then, I guess ended up screwing up the 1-1 cycle that they're going to start with there. So basically, it kept bleeding time on Ganon itself. So.
The cape was actually in the post Moldorm chest. That's a lot simpler.
Yeah, I mean, once I had Tempered Sword, I really didn't care about anything else in my hand, so I just kind of made all the way up.
So I do have one question about your routing through the seed.
Mhm.
One thing you could have done to make it better was the hobo check when you were doing the water walk.
Yeah, I think if I went to, because at that point, if I did Hobo, I would have not had Water Walk after that.
Maybe you could have fake flippered.
Yeah, but I didn't think about that. But I mean, I had all of Dark World open. I was just kind of finishing out, like, the Sphere 1 checks before actually
Sure.
making that dip in there. So I figured I'll do a quick one of the Zora area and then leave Hobo for later. And unfortunately, it couldn't get a nice sequence break, but I'm not sure how it would have really helped me at the time. Probably would have seen a lot more. Probably would have done Smith Chain. So
Yeah, I mean, it could have been detrimental just as much as it could have been helpful, for sure.
I think the most detrimental thing would have happened was that I thought I was in go mode after the bow, and it's like looking at my tracker, like, wait, no, I need that mirror. So I ended up going back to the vanilla big key chest in Ice Palace. Hello?
Grimy actually did the exact same thing that you did, skipping out during the water walk. OC, though, was the only player who decided that Hobo was worth his time that early in the game. Unfortunately, did not do the dip into Skullwoods early, and ended up orphaning the hook shot.
Yeah, Koi was not happy about people dissing the hobo.
I don't know, like, my thought process is, okay, so, like, I'm secrets breaking the flippers, right? Why would I skip out on Hobo too? Like, it's a flipper location just like everything else that was secrets breaking.
Yeah,
but
it's
it
just
does take extra time.
Yeah, if you have the water walk and you have the dash, it's just a lot of extra time that I didn't feel it was worth it at the moment. So I mean, sometimes I'll just fake flipper out and just end there to get that check out of the way, but usually it's not both.
But then after getting those flippers, I think anybody who skipped it hopefully had it in their mind that, that was an orphan location. And there really wasn't, they had already checked the other flipper locations at that point. They had not found any value, so hopefully that would have kind of pointed.
Yeah, I think I did Death Mountain after Thieves Town. And once I got the flippers and the fire rod, and it's like I can go back to Skullwoods, maybe follow that, but no, I figured the flippers checks would be faster, and thankfully that paid off pretty well.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the situation that happened to Rambler, who also skipped out on the Hobo check while doing the Zora checks with the water walk. But he did not go back to Hobo for a much, much longer time.
It's hard to really blame that, just depending on some of the items you got there. Imagine if you did a dip into Eastern Pod first, that mirror might have tipped you to other things entirely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like that's my fear, right? If I'm gonna be skipping out on Hobo, is that, well, if I don't do it now, when am I gonna do it, right? But you and Franny both found a time to go back there before it was too late, and ended up getting really nice finishes at number 1 and number 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to complain about that. I mean, it was really, really close together. It was like, I can't find my time here, so it's like I have about a minute, 40 seconds. So.
We have been wringing our wrists, hoping that OC would pick up the hook shot, which was, of course, in the front part of Skullwoods, and they actually went into Skullwoods and killed Mothula, and somehow missed it. Had to do a couple other checks before they went back.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the fire rod, sometimes it plays out pretty well to go back first and just make your way from there. But
yeah, I mean, he killed Mothula and then left Skullwoods.
Oh.
And then did a few more checks and then remembered, hey, wait, there's a front of Skullwoods.
I'm not sure what the thinking there was. I guess maybe, like, he thought, well, if it's in the front of Skullwoods, I lost anyway, so I might as well check somewhere else.
Yeah, I usually consider Skullwoods part of the overworld when I go in that way, regardless if it's pendant or crystal, but if it gets too long, I definitely will not check the vanilla big key chest, just the front.
Yeah, and what happened to OC this season is exactly why that's so popular, to check the front of Skullwoods like that.
Yep, but finally using that hook shot to finish up Swamp Palace. I'm going to be heading up to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, so I have to head off any shortly. But do you guys have any final questions or?
I mean,
I'm
not
trying to think.
It's a pretty jet seed. Not a whole lot to talk about outside of the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, it
hook
was-
shot and the hits. Everything else was just on the way.
Yeah, good job, not going into Turtle Rock and avoiding Misery Mire.
Yeah, thankfully, seeing that Quake, realizing it was mirror, or not necessarily mirror lock, but likely to be, that kind of put that at the back of my mind.
It was mirror locked, actually. The book was in Checkerboard Cave.
Oh,
So
okay.
you had to have the mirror to get to the book.
Yeah, so thanks for the run. It was really fun to watch you. And hey, GG, that was a really good finish.
Thanks a lot. Good game to you guys, and thanks for calming and streaming. And once again, good game to Fear Anime. So, how we going?
Close enough.
Fear anime, I like it.
That's what they said in chat, so I gotta go with that, right?
Sure.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
Have a good one. OC, just about to head into Ganon's Tower now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rambler has a bit more to do before he can make his way up there.
Yeah,
he's
a little
still
bit.
missing Eastern Palace after Helmasaur.
But with that, with the bow and with silver arrow, it's going to be pretty quick. And boy, it's going to feel awful nice to pick up that sword. Rambler has been toiling with the fighter sword for the entirety of this seed.
Yeah, I think OC is the only one who. No, never mind. What I was about to say didn't make any sense.
That's fine. You're allowed to redact it. It's all good.
Everybody got at least 5 crystals without a Master Sword, at least, except for OC.
Yeah. The seed is really quite well suited to making people go left because of not having a key in those hope chests. As long as you don't do the kind of... There's the pink magician route, which checks those chests and then checks these. And then goes right side. But luckily, OC not heading that way. It was funny seeing the scroll at the end of the credits there saying the times when people found everything. Usually if you have zeros for something, it means you didn't find it. But we had zeros for the Pegasus boots because we literally had it from moment 0.
That's so weird that OC does the damageless strat through that room.
Oh yeah? Yeah, I was noticing that. That was very gentle, very thought out, very
Well,
careful.
like, going over the top is like the only way to get through the room without walking over spikes, but it's significantly slower than just dashing across the spikes like most people do. And I don't know, it's just weird to me to see someone like OC who's like so good valuing his heart count like that.
Yeah, tiptoeing around the spikes. Gotta take your time. I mean, I guess at this point, it's a casual race. It's casual Friday, and you know you're not gonna be fighting for first place. So you know what? Might as well just take your time. Using the silver arrow strats here in the gauntlet. Getting some help from the spikes.
Yeah, that was a nice slash.
Wow, that was a nice gauntlet. And lovely one cycle.
Yeah, unfortunately, his finish time today isn't gonna reflect this, but OC actually is one of the best execution players in the rando community.
Yeah, it looks really smooth. And as OC lights some torches, Rambler picks up a shovel, but more importantly, that last crystal. Now let's see, does OC check the chests? Yes. And it is definitely worth your time. Meanwhile, Rambler booking it up Death Mountain.
OC not even grabbing the magic. Gotta save those frames.
Save the frames. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. This is what's happening. We're doing the
Ah.
one.
I see.
The lag.
Oh, nice.
Very clean. Oh my god.
Beautiful. I've never seen that specific strat done before.
It's relatively new.
Neat. Don't get a cape out of it, though. That's a shame.
I think it's one of the 5 main tricks or whatever that's on the docket to be discussed for legality for the racing council. I think it's probably going to be allowed. For now, it is allowed.
Yeah, especially in these daily races, like everything but overt overworld glitches, like stuff that's gonna get you in trouble. Very nice, Aga 2. Leaving some bombs. Wasting all the magic on the bat. That's the wrong bat. All right, what sort of fun are we in for here as OC takes on Ganon? It's a very nice corner for Ganon to be in. See, this is why OC was worrying about their health earlier. They can just tank damage from fire bats now like it's nothing.
Yeah, red mail's pretty good.
It's pretty nice. Red mail and 1,000 hearts. And as OC gets ready to go into the last phase again in here, Rambler has the big key and is heading up the tower. I was going to say OC needs to be a bit careful about magic, but OC has green goo. OC doesn't care.
And that'll do it for Ganon.
Sure does. And a whole quiver full of arrows follows. OC closing it out, 17th place, with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 10 seconds.
GG.
GG indeed. We'll see if we can get OC in here for an interview. Meanwhile, Rambler heading up the gauntlet.
Welcome, OC, to the voice chat. GG.
Hey, GG.
So, how do you like the location of that hook shot?
Yeah, so that was an unfortunate seed. That hook shot spot, you're supposed to check that every time, pretty much. Especially when you get Dark World access that early.
So, was there a reason you didn't, or did you just forget about it?
I just haven't been liking Skullwoods lately. So
That's fair.
there's
Now you're
no
gonna like it even
logical
less,
reason.
probably.
Yeah, the hookshot position was really unfortunate because of how much the hookshot locked in this seed. My question though is like I understand like not doing the front of Skullwoods when you did, because like that's it's always a gamble whether or not you do that, and it was just unfortunate that not doing it led you away from it. Why didn't you do it though when you went to kill Mummy?
At that point, I was trying to gamble as hard as I could, and the front of Skull is an early check.
Okay, so it was the idea that like, well, if it was there, then I lost by a ton anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And right
that's
after
what I thought it
that,
was.
people were finishing.
So we weren't sure if it was just a gamble for you to skip that, or if maybe you just thought you had both items or something.
Nope. I was trying to make bigger gambles into Swamp. Hookless Swamp.
I saw this.
Yeah, this was an interesting seed. Fairly linear, but on a couple of specific courses. And if you kind of missed out on any one of those pieces, it could feel very open.
Yeah. I mostly liked how I played it. I think it seemed like I was following the progression well enough, doing what the seed wanted me to. I think I should have gone to pod sooner, got the mirror, and you also could have stayed in Light World longer and got the mitts, but that didn't end up mattering.
What actually happened to our other runners is all three of the other runners stayed in the light world longer, like you were saying, and did like the water walk for the sword area and the flipper checks, but didn't do Hobo. Luckily, Trinex and Faraimi ended up going back to Hobo after finding the flippers and getting the mitts before it really hurt them. New York Rambler, however, last location though. So you were the only person with the mitts for a very, very long time, but we're the only person missing that shot.
Yeah, actually, when I'm water walking, I also don't check Hobo if I don't have flippers.
Really?
So see where they're coming from.
Yeah, that was Koi's main point of contention.
I always do it. Like I just water walk up to Hobo and then just fake flipper back down to Sora. And even if I don't have the moon pearl, I set the water walk and then fake flipper to Hobo and water walk down to Sora. I don't like splitting those up like that.
So what you can do is you can try to fit in Hobo with the pod and pyramid and just mirror there. So that's what you're hoping to do.
Yeah, unfortunately that wasn't possible this seed with the mirror being in Palace of Darkness. Which ended up being, I think maybe that's what Rambler was like hoping to have happen. That's why he put it off for so long.
Yeah, that's part of the problem once you start putting something off. If it turns out that that's what you needed earlier on, like it's such a balance, this game, of like knowing when you want to group things together to check together, and when it makes sense to kind of go out on a limb and make some checks because you have everything you need to get there.
Yeah. Like, it makes sense to follow your progression items. See where each new item leads you. But you're leaving behind all the other checks that were also opened by the previous progression.
Mm-hmm. But your execution overall was really great, and we enjoyed some of your swag in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, where's my Moldor and Bounce guide? Come on.
On my YouTube channel.
Oh, do you already have it? All right.
So if you want to learn how to do swag, go check out Suzu's YouTube channel. You too can learn how to not even have to hover away from Moldor.
Yeah, I've ended up getting pretty good at it, but only when I'm on restream, so it works out.
It looked really clean, and everybody was calling for the hover, but that was even better. Although if you had killed Moldor, you would have gotten a cape out of it. Not that you needed it.
No, I was happy to see the sword in the last chest I was opening, because I didn't plan on opening the pre-Moldor, post-Moldor chest.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to open that chest. That was the great equalizer between Trinex and Fraimi. Trinex checked that chest to get their sword. Fraimi checked that chest. Trinex got a sword on the other side. They did right side of Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, the finishers ended up being around big key routing differences. Like Trinex lost because he did Pink Magician and Feremi did the Hope route.
And we're joined by Rambler GG. Oh.
What is up, GG, everybody?
Rip the hobo, right?
Yeah, just call me End My Gambler. I went all in and lost.
You
I
were
like
not
that.
You were not the only person to orphan the hobo, but Trinex and Feremi both made their way back there a lot sooner than you did.
Yeah, well, when I say gamble and go all in, I'm talking about dipping Turtle Rock, looking for both.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at the point when I found Titan's Mitts, I knew I was like woefully behind. So I just decided, you know what? Let's make the big play. Especially when I found Quake. It was like the seed's giving me Samaria early. It's giving me Fire Rod relatively early. It's giving me Quake. If it's in Turtle Rock, this play might pay off. If I had SRL up and saw that people were finishing while I was in Turtle Rock, maybe I wouldn't have done that play. And I would have gone to Ice Palace like I normally would have in that scenario. If I got to Ice Palace first, I saved 10 minutes off. I still don't win. I'm still not like way ahead, but I felt my execution was actually on par, just my routing, skipping Hobo first off, which when I did I'm 50-50 when I do the water walking off of Ice Rod Cave, whether I swim the Hobo and then water walk to Zora or just skip Hobo altogether. Usually I don't like going to Hobo. So whenever Hobo has something, it kind of messes me up.
All the hobo hate.
Koi is defensive of the hobo.
Well, you, Trinex, and Feremi all did the water walk and opted not to do hobo. And then Osi said that had he been in that position, would also have skipped hobo. And I'm like, but I always do hobo.
Hobo's such a long way away from one shack, and when did I get Mirror? Mirror was...
It was in Pod.
That's right. Yeah, first as a Pod. I had Mirror before I had Titan Smith, so maybe I should have dropped down there. But once I got the Mirror, I went straight to Swamp because that was the logical idea. That didn't work either. Yeah, so... I mean, at least I put on a good show execution-wise. I one cycled phase 1 on Ganon for the first time on stream.
Beautiful.
I mean, I've done it before on like regular races on my own stream, but not on a restream like this. So I'm proud of that.
Yeah, good job. It was fun watching. You did a good job getting up in his tower, having some fun. Yeah, we enjoyed watching you, even though we were kind of trying to mentally give you hints about where to go.
Well, if I had a sword, I might have gone to Ice Palace first because I would have felt a lot more comfortable with Colts there. If I had a Master Sword, when I went there, finally, I still had this Fighter Sword, but I think at that point, I didn't have Red Mail yet. But I mean, I didn't want to do Mire. I didn't want to go that far into the rabbit. So it just turns out that Samaria wasn't even required at all, and Fire Rod wasn't even required at all, and those two in Quake were just giant baits.
Yeah, there's a lot of red herring happening. And you never wound up picking up another sword. You finished with the Master Sword, right?
No, I got Tempered.
You did get the Tempered.
I picked up the Master in
Eastern.
and I picked up Tempered upstairs.
Right. I think everybody picked it up there except for Trinex. Yes. I was
he
trying to
found
remember.
His, tempered sword in Compass Room. So they were both in GT. Like he had to have.
Oh, okay.
Master Sword.
Oh, so the two sword. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So if I'd gone to Eastern, which I don't see where any reason why you would go to Eastern when you get Moon Pearl off of Magic Bat.
Yeah, the whole seed, it really just came down to like these two decision points, like when do you do Hobo and when do you do Front of Skull Woods, and everything else is just on the way. Just go to Crystal Dungeons and you get your things.
Well, the flute was in a
I
weird
guess
spot.
Yeah, that was
Which-
the other one.
I was
But with the
thinking,
Cane of Burnus so early, like the first time
Yeah.
like you typically do Spike Cave.
well, when I was up there, my decision was, do I do Spiral Cave or Spike Cave? I chose Spiral Cave. And then I went up for Spike Cave. Like, when I went back to Dark Death Mountain after I got Titan's Midst, that was the one thing I was going to include in my checks, and obviously it worked out. Flute was there. Of course, Flute also led me to Quake and sent me to Turtle Rock, so let's not talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't find the flute. We didn't need the flute. It's fine.
I don't think that
Well, we
played
didn't need the Flute. The Flute
really
Yes.
was the only
back into
access to get into the desert.
Yeah, the book was in the in the checkerboard. game,
Checkerboard
so-
Cave, of course. I think the best route would have been if Flute wound up being your go mode item, which it could be for some people. That probably would have been the best routing that one could take in this seed.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because then you don't get baited by anything else. And you'll have bow already. I mean, yeah, you'll full clear pod, but you had the full clear pod anyway because of where Big He was.
Yeah, way in the back, way in the dark.
Anyway, this was a seed that I misread. I will admit to that. I took a gamble and lost. It happened.
Well, it wouldn't be a restream if somebody didn't show us Turtle Rock, so thank you.
Hey, Turtle Rock on my mirror shield. It had 2 shields in it. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, no, you were definitely well shielded going into Ganon's tower, so that's useful. All right, well, it's probably about time for us to wrap it up. Do you have any other questions for our awesome runners, Koi?
Just teach me how to do Moldorm bounce, OC.
Just gotta stop by my stream sometime.
Will do.
In fact, you can give all of our runners a follow. They all performed really well for us tonight. This was a lot of fun to watch.
By the way, if you guys were watching Speed Gaming last weekend, Aussie knows this. When I gamble and it doesn't pay off, it costs me a lot. Aussie knows that firsthand. He knows what I'm talking about.
But we love it when people gamble. That's what gives us a show. All right, well, I guess it's time to finish off. We'll have to give another quick shout out to our trackers who were definitely incredibly instrumental in keeping track of what was going on in this seed. We had Epi and Etium, and they are awesome, so you should give them a follow as well.
Indeed. And of course, our runners OC Trinex, New York Rambler, and Ferraini. For that person.
You too can learn how to pronounce their name if you follow them. There's some
Also-
links in the chat to the Discord as well if you feel like coming and joining us.
Also, Castleplism. All of Castleplism, you guys.
Oh, hey, it's me, and also Koi. It's been a lot of fun commentating with you. It was a treat, and I hope everybody enjoyed this casual Friday run.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.